What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. We just finished up the AFC North draft class. Not the AFC North draft class, the AFC North draft grades. So now we'll be continuing to the NFC North draft grades. Finishing up the draft grade videos here. Finishing off with the NFC North. AFC North is in the description down below, as well as the wedge at the end of the video. Instagram is down below, as well as right here, 206 to 559 podcast. A follow there would be greatly appreciated, as well as a subscribe here. If you're new, if you're returning, welcome back. Like, share, comment would be greatly appreciated. I could talk about football all day. So let's get into it before I start talking all day. Starting off with the Detroit Lions. The first team you'll see here are the division losers, the guys at the bottom. The last team you'll see are my predicted division winners. Sadly, Detroit's going to be at the bottom again for me this year. It's going to be a little bit closer than you think. So Detroit fans, don't get too mad at me. Shout out to the boy, Tony. Pick 2, Detroit takes Aiden Hutchinson, edge out of Michigan. I don't like to call him edge. I think he's a pure defensive end. He's not going to play 3-4 and stand up as a linebacker. He's going to play 4-3 hand in the dirt only. Aiden Hutchinson, 6'6", 267 pounds. Guy at Michigan, true senior, produced more and more every single year. A+ grade. This is exactly where I had him going. I had him going number 1 or number 2, but if he even went 3, I would have given that a steal. A+ here, and they come all the way up from 32 to 12 to take Jamison Williams, wide receiver out of Alabama. A+ here. He would have been my number 1 if he was healthy, but he is definitely one of the best vertical and speedy and laterally quick guys in this draft. Reminds me very much of Deshaun Jackson. I know that's what people thought, that we saw Hollywood Brown. We saw Deshaun Jackson. No, this is Deshaun Jackson. The double move, the hands are there, the long arms, straight line speed, special teams ability, everything is there. He's an elite athlete. A+ grade here. Pick 46, Josh Pascal out of Kentucky, off-field issues. Didn't pop as much as for me personally. I think that he's probably going to be one of the guys that I didn't pay attention to that is going to end up being very productive. Taking a pick 46, I had him going maybe back into top 60, the late second, early third maybe. But, top 50 pick is a little rich for me even as a reach. So I gave it a solid C grade. Not a bad player, but just not a guy that I'm very high on personally. Pick 97, Kirby Phillips, defensive back out of Illinois. I give it an A-. This is exactly where I had him going in the 3rd round. This is a guy that can play all over the field, free safety, strong safety, corner, slot, dime, nickel. He could play everything, special teams as well. He's a guy that has long arms, strong hands, very, very tenacious at the point of attack. He'll go up with the biggest of them. He'll keep up with the fastest of them. And on the balls in the air, I'm willing to bet on this guy. Kirby Phillips, DB out of Illinois, played free safety, but I think he could play corner and slot and nickel for you. So I think he's very good safety. I think he's very underrated just because of how bad Illinois is in general. One of the bright spots on that team, well, the only bright spot, a few that were drafted this year. A- grade. Pick 177, James Mitchell out of Virginia Tech, big receiving tight end. Athletic guy, big mover. It's a lot of projection, but in the 5th round, can't knock him too much. He's not a top 20 tight end in my opinion. He wasn't draftable to me. I think as an undrafted pickup, a guy that maybe could develop, practice squad a couple times, just see where he goes. But I think he's a guy that maybe hits, but he's going to be very scheme dependent. He's going to be a very tight end 1 orientated team. He's going to be a 3 receiver, 1 tight, 1 back, strict every time. No 4 sets, no 2 tights, no triple option in the backfield like in Baltimore. But he's a guy that the more catches and the more snaps he gets, the better he's going to be. Pick 188, Malcolm Rodriguez, linebacker at Oklahoma State, one of the better combine guys. I like him a lot. Linebacker role. Maybe he'll be your 3rd linebacker Definitely going to be a special teams guy in the 6th. Gave it a C+ grade. Very athletic. Pick 217, James Houston, linebacker at Jackson State, HBCU. Shout out. A+ grade. Undersized at 6'1", 236 pounds. But he has the longest wingspan by any linebacker in this draft. Long arms, strong hands, anchored, did play at that lower level, but dominated like no one else's business. I like him a lot. I have him going anywhere from the early 2nd to late 3rd as a B+ grade. So taken all the way here in the 6th round at pick 217, A++, man. And pick 237, these are one of my corners. These are one of the guys that I like. I love Chase Lucas out of Arizona State. I think he's going to be one of those taller, longer, skinnier corners. That's just I like personally. It's like 6'2", 180 something pounds. Really slim line athlete, streamline athlete, but he's a baller, man. Like this dude doesn't like film don't lie, ball don't lie. He's very good. I like him a lot. In the 7th, I would have taken him in the 4th if I was Detroit. I would have happily taken him at pick 97. But falls to 237, giving the Lions a B+ overall grade. Now let's go to the Chicago Bears, who didn't have a first, but had a couple good early picks, with Kyler Gordon going pick 39 out of Washington. Young corner, true junior, great in man coverage, great instincts when he's on his island. Gets a little bit lost in space and zone, but great ball skills. A little bit smaller than I thought. I thought he was going to be 6'2", 200. He's 6 foot, 199 pounds. So I thought he was going to be 6'2", 205. Just misses that 200 threshold. Doesn't kill him too much, but I thought he was going to be a little bit taller. I think that's the reason why he fell. If he was a 6'2", 205-pound corner, he definitely would have went top 20. But 6'1" on the dot, 6 foot on the dot, 199 pounds, gets him back into that number 2 size threshold. A grade though, very good at the point of attack. Washington knows how to coach DBs. Pick 48, Jaquan Brisker, safety out of Penn State. He's a good safety. A little bit early for my grade. I'm going to the 3rd, 4th, early 3rd, like pick 65. So I gave him a B grade. Great pickup. He's going to fill for your number 3 safety job. He's going to battle for the 2nd. I like their safety room. I like their corner room too. So it's going to be a little bit harder for him to find time on the field. The only reason why I gave him a B, unless they make some moves later on in the preseason. But gave it a solid B grade. Pick 71, they take Velu Jones Jr. Out of Tennessee. Tennessee always produces just very physically gifted and talented guys. Like Darrell Taylor, Alontae Taylor, and Velu Jones, who in this one as well is just one of those big guys, ran 4.38, big dude, 6'2", 6'3", vertical stretch the field guy. I only gave him a D+ because he just never hit. Like Tennessee is not a very pass-friendly team, but he never hit on film. He never popped off the field too much. When it came to testing, he was superior. But on the field, when it comes to film, he missed the mark for me personally. Gave it a D+. I'm going from 5 to 6. So D+ grade here. I only gave it a D+ because of the athlete he is. Pick 168, Braxton Jones out of Southern Utah. This is one of those small school my guy picks. Can't knock him too much. I like his athleticism. I think he can play guard right away. We'll see where they plug and play him here. We'll see if he gets playing time as rookie or even. But I like him a lot. I think he projects well as a right tackle and as a left guard, which is weird because usually right tackle, right guard, left tackle, left guard. But I think he's going to be your tenacious left guard, or you're just your finesse, pass blocking, pass set right tackle. Pick 174, Dominic Robinson out of Miami of Ohio. Give it a C- grade. Uber productive. He's going to immediately be a special teams guy for Chicago, and he's going to step in and battle for the number 3 job here. Pick 186, Zach Thomas, tackle out of San Diego State. I gave it a B. This is exactly where I had him. It's just going to be hard for him to find playing time. Really good guy. I could have seen him going to even the late 3rd. But, I gave it a B grade. I just don't think tackle is the biggest need here. I don't, drafting for need and drafting for value is very different, but I weigh those two very considerably. So need and value was there, but overall B grade. Tristan Ebner at a Baylor, one of those bigger power backs. Gave it a D grade. You don't need a running back. I don't think he's not even on my board. I personally haven't heard of him at all. So I gave it a D grade, probably one of their guys. Pick 207, I have heard of Doug Kramer, the other Illinois guy getting drafted. Another guy that's tenacious, physical, athletic, impactful at the point of attack. I think he's gonna battle for a job in a year or two. Jatari Carter out of Southern, another tackle taken. I gave it a D plus grade. Another smaller school guy, just a stab. Probably one of their guys, probably a physicality weight room guy that they saw and they thought that they'd like. Gave it a D plus. Elijah Hicks, safety out of Cal, gave it a B grade. I have him drafted in the 7th PDFA. Good grade. He could hit, but it's going to be hard for him to find time on the field with a crowded defensive back room. And then Trenton Gill, punter at NC State, gave it a C plus grade. Punters and kickers in this value are going to be C grades, C plus. They needed it. They need better kickers and punters. Chicago is one of the worst special teams efficient teams in the league. So anything helps. Draftable prospect for me. Gave it a solid C plus. Let's get to the Minnesota Vikings, who I gave a solid C grade. They took Lewis Seen, safety out of Georgia, with the 32nd pick. I did not have him going in the first. I did not have him going top 50, but they fill a need. One of their guys that is athletically gifted. I think he looks like a corner more than a safety, but gave it a D grade. Let's see how well Minnesota uses him. But I picked 42 in the second round. Andrew Booth, a guy that I had predicted going 14th overall to the Ravens a lot, gets all the way taken in the 42nd pick in the second round. A plus grade. Steele immediately going to come in and be your number one. I think he's going to be your number one in the second round. I like him a lot. Pick 59, Ed Ingram out of LSU. He's one of my favorite sleeper interior offensive linemen. A little early at pick 59. In the mid third is exactly where I had him at a B plus grade. Late third would have been A minus. But I like Ed Ingram a lot. He's one of the most underrated interior guys in this league. Such an anchor. Like if you told me to pick one guy with an anchor, it's going to be Ed Ingram. And Ed Ingram has a nasty, heavy anchor. Pick 66, Brian Asamoah, undersized, uber athletic, run around the field, 110 miles an hour linebacker out of Oklahoma. I gave it an A grade. He's going to immediately plug in and play weak side backer with Kendricks with the loss of Anthony Barr. Great value pickup here. I like it a lot. I like the guy a lot. He's one of my guys. Caleb Evans, corner out of Missouri. I gave it a C minus. Little rich for my blood. Had him going late 5th, 6th. So C grade. And I think at this point, if you're drafting a DB, you're hoping that he hits, because this safety, he can't play safety now. Your 1, 2, and 3 safeties are taken. He's not going to find corner room. Your 1, 2, and 3 corners are taken now. So it's going to be hard for him. He's going to be a 4th safety and maybe a 4th or 5th corner in this class now. We'll see what he really hits on. Who knows? He might be the best DB in this draft class at the end of the day. Pick 165 in the 5th, Isaizi Otimoyo out of Minnesota. Hopefully I didn't ruin your last name. One of those edge guys. He looks like a defensive end out of Minnesota. I gave it a solid C grade. Very productive, very underrated. When it comes to like the Pro Focus football stats, like quarterback hits, pressure rates, win rates, he is one of those percentile rate win guys that looks very good on paper. Pick 165, Ty Chandler out of North Carolina. Gave it a C grade. One of those bigger running backs. Really good, balanced guy, contact in between the tackles runner. Doesn't have long speed, very low production, in third down situations. But I think he's a guy that might hit in the 5th. If you don't, waiver wire guy, he'll stick around the league for a while as a 2 or 3 back. Vidarian Lowe, tackle out of Illinois. I gave it a D. Never heard of the guy, not even on my list, not even on my top 400. One of their guys. Let's move on from there. Jalen Naylor out of Michigan State. I think he probably could have snuck into the 3rd, 4th. Taken here in the B grade here in pick 191 in the 6th. Naylor is one of those receivers that doesn't have the great size, the great speed, hands, route running, physicality. But he's just so consistently good everywhere, where he's not going to be a mismatch problem, but he's going to be one of those guys that's so consistent that you're going to have to account for him at one point in time in his career. Pick 227, Nick Muse out of South Carolina. Good tight end, really athletic. It's going to be hard for him to find time here. Conklin did find a new contract moving on, but Smith is still here. He'll come in to be the number 2, maybe 3, depending on how they value him. But I think Muse is a good pickup, C+ grade here. To round out Minnesota's C grade, did not like the Lewis Cine pick in the first. I picked 42. I would have given it a B pick. If you switch the first 2, I would have given Andrew Booth an A+ an A pick here in the first at 32, and I probably would have given Lewis Cine a B+ grade at pick 42. So it might have rounded him up to a B- overall grade, but just the flip flop of values is a little different here. Now let's go to the division winners, the Green Bay Packers. I gave them a C+ grade. I did not like a couple of their picks. Let's get straight into it. Quay Walker at 22 overall might have been the second biggest reach of the draft. Maybe even the first. I didn't have him going to the 3rd round, but taken here at pick 22 is just, you don't need a pure middle linebacker at this value yet. At pick 92, if you took a linebacker, yes. They're 2 4th-round picks. They could have taken a linebacker that's going to start day 1. If you took Quay Walker at pick 32, I would have given you a C grade, a C- grade, instead of an F-, dropping a whole 2 grades to drop you from maybe a B to a C+. Quay Walker, really good traditional downhill linebacker, but that's about it. Gets lost in space, doesn't have the top end speed. Great stack and shed guy, but he's a strictly 3-4 blitzing linebacker, middle linebacker. And Green Bay does run a 3-4, but they don't blitz too much with their middle linebackers. Pick 128, Devontae Wyatt pickup makes up for it. The best interior pass rushing defensive tackle in the game in this draft class. Quick hands. He's a technician, man. He's got the fastest, strongest, most accurate hands in the game, and he's a guy that I could see dominating the league in a year or 2. Pick 34, I had Green Bay taking Christian Watson at 22, and then 28, now 34. Christian Watson was going to be Green Bay through and through. He's going to be their new number 1 out of South Dakota State. Uber athletic. No one is 6'6", 220 pounds that can run like this, long, athletic, streamlined like a gazelle, top end speed, jump all ability, physicality, run blocker. He's a unicorn at a small school. That's the only reason why he falls to pick 34. Pick 92, Sean Ryan, offensive lineman out of UCLA. He'll play anything from left tackle to right tackle. He'll clear coast to coast on the positions he'll play for offensive line. The only reason why he falls is he just doesn't have the profile, and he doesn't just have the pure athleticism that some of these top end in like offensive linemen have. But when film's on, this team doesn't win. They'll lose 2 or 3 less games a season when if he's not on the field for them. Like, that's how much of an impact Sean Ryan is for UCLA. And losing him, I don't think they're going to have a winning record next year. They weren't predicted to, but they're definitely going to drop a lot in production because of Sean Ryan, his loss in projecting for the NFL. Romeo Dubes out of Nevada. I gave it a D. I don't think he's good, but I didn't have him going until the 6th, 7th. Doesn't fit the scheme at all for me. I just don't think he's going to mesh with Aaron Rodgers at all. Gave it a D grade. Pick 140, Zach Tom out of Wake Forest, offensive lineman. He's one of those guys that can play all over the interior. I give it a D-, not on my board, not one of my guys. He's one of those guys I could have got undrafted, and I wouldn't have thought of second again. Pick 179, Kingsley Enagbari, edge out of South Carolina, had a horrible combine, fell. Went from top 20 to 25 to 1st to 2nd, falls all the way to the 5th here at pick 179. I think he's going to be a rotational guy, plug and play immediately. Reminds me a lot of Rashawn Gary, but he's a hands on the dirt 4-3. We'll see how well he plays in a 3-4. I like him a lot. Uber productive, more of a pressure guy than a stat guy. At pick 220, Terry Carpenter, safety out of Georgia Tech. Big dude, one of those linebacker safety hybrid role guys. He'll play all over the field, immediately going to make a special teams impact. We'll see what Green Bay wants to do with him. But so 6'3", 220-pound guys that you can move everywhere. Jonathan Ford out of Miami, one of those nose tackles, 7th round, good value, B- grade. Big body guy, 6'3", 240 pounds, eats space. Rasheed Walker, tackle out of Penn State. This is a guy that fell very far. I had people, and I projected him getting snuck up into the late second, like 62, 63, 64 pick. Like I saw him going there. Falls all the way to pick 249, one of the biggest fallers in this draft. Rasheed Walker out of Penn State, give it an A+ grade. I like him a lot. I think he's going to immediately try and battle for a number 2 tackle job. And he's going to be one of the best guys in a 4 or 5 year span. Pick 258, Samori Toure out of Nebraska, not on my board at all. Gave it a D- grade. You took a lot of receiver, so these guys like Toure and Dubes are going to be the 3 and 4 battling guys because their receiving core is so shallow and not very deep at all. And you do need a 1 with Christian Watson coming in. So I gave Green Bay a solid C+ grade. A lot of reaches, a lot of my guys, I can tell. A lot of guys at the Green Bay organization liked. Can't knock them on that too much. Gave Green Bay a solid C grade. And this rounds up our 2022 NFL draft grades for all 32 NFL teams. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Thank you for always supporting. Thank you for always checking in. This is just one of those, things that I love doing. Love talking football. Love sharing my knowledge. Love sharing my input. Like I said, thank you guys for always tuning in. Subscribe with comment, and share. We could talk about football in the description below. We could talk on one of these podcasts, YouTube videos below. Hit me up. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys want to have any inquiries like that. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.